Am I the asshole? Asking daughter to not leave her sleepover friend at my house when she goes to work. My daughter and her 2 children live in my house with me. She occasionally has her female friend sleep over, and allows her friend to continue sleeping when she goes to work early in the morning. I take her 2 children to school, leaving her friend alone in the house. This has been going on for about 2 months. I have 2 issues with this. I do not know anything about her friend other than her first name, essentially a stranger to me. I am not comfortable leaving a relative stranger alone in my house alone while I am gone, anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 or 3 hours. I am not comfortable with a single young woman sleeping in the house alone with me, or alone with me and my 2 grandchildren. I have told my daughter that this must stop, for the 2 above concerns. She is furious with me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole, and lol, she's not single. Not the asshole. This is absolutely reasonable, and I can't see why she would take offense at this. Tell her she can leave her overnight guests at her own place all day. Are you positive your daughter isn't really upset about this because the female friend is actually more than that? Because the furious anger thing makes me think your daughter may actually be gay and that may be her girlfriend you just didn't know was her girlfriend. Not the asshole. One of my pals was all set to have me stay in her house in London when I came over to the UK recently, but her dad 70-ish who I know unlike vetoed it, so I found a hotel instead. And you know what? That's fine. On this occasion there was some context. Their house had recently been burgled and her dad was still shaken from the impact of that. So I wasn't about to cause a fuss when I knew there was a perfectly good reason he was a bit gun shy. But more importantly than that, it's his house. Your house, your say over who comes and goes. And in that person's position, I'd say it's better to find somewhere else to stay than bunk up in a place where not everyone is comfortable having you around. As she's a stranger to you, it's not reasonable to expect that from you. So your daughter has a steady girlfriend but hasn't introduced you to her. What's the story behind that? She's been coming over pretty regularly from what it sounds like. Have you not tried to get to know her at all? So your daughter is a lesbian. I am going to go with not the asshole. Why? This is your daughter's friend. She is more or less a stranger to you. I would certainly not want a stranger alone in my house. It would make for an awkward situation. Maybe you 3 need to make a better effort in getting to know each other. Until then, restrict sleepovers to weekends. Not the asshole. Leaving you an unwelcome single female in your house is not acceptable. It could go very, very wrong for you if there was a misunderstanding or just plain malicious intent on her behalf for some reason. It's your house and therefore your rules, and your daughter needs to understand that. It's not okay to leave an overnight guest unattended in a home you share with a housemate. That's inconsiderate in and of itself. To have the expectation that the overnight guest can stay however long they want when the house is empty is inconsiderate and entitled. Who does that? You would be within your rights to let the friend know she will have to leave when you leave. And if you're just not comfortable with overnight guests at all, that's fine too. It's your house. Expectations regarding overnight guests probably should have been discussed prior to your daughter moving in with you. But it is what it is. If things need to change now, that's okay. Not the asshole. You have the right to ask that your daughter not leave individuals in the home if she is not around. This forces you into situations that you may or may not feel comfortable addressing when she is not around and could become a he said she said type scenario. If your daughter has friends over, she should be there just as it should be with your grandchildren and yourself. Not the asshole. I agree that the friend needs to leave when your daughter leaves. She is your daughter's guest, not yours. It doesn't matter if your daughter pays rent, etc. The friend is there for the night and needs to be out the door at the same time as your daughter. Not the asshole. This is a reasonable request. If your daughter lives with you, I wouldn't say it's wrong for her to have friends over to visit, but she would need to be there. You don't just leave people in your house unsupervised. Not the asshole you didn't say she can't have people over. You said not to leave that person alone in your house. Her friend needs to leave when she does. You don't know this person and it could be someone unsafe or a thief. Not the asshole, it's your house, not hers. Not the asshole. At all. It's weird and I would have already woke the friend up to leave when I did with the kids. Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. She's lucky to have a parent willing to take in herself and her children. I wouldn't even be asking to have people stay, I'd just be so grateful for a place to live. So she's letting her girlfriend's sexual hookups sleep when she leaves for work? Are they at least in an in-law or just a bedroom in your home? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I don't see an issue with your guest has to leave when you are out of the house. Not the asshole. The issue is clearly not the sleeping over. It's the lolling about for hours after their host leaves. Your guest isn't a tenant. Your guest leaves when you leave. Not the asshole, your house, your rules. If the adult daughter doesn't respect those rules, she's free to move out at her earliest opportunity. Not the asshole, these are reasonable concerns. But perhaps your daughter thinks this is a pretext you are using because of you not approving of her sleepovers. Or perhaps your daughter feels at home and feels she should have a measure of autonomy so she doesn't feel herself like a guest inconveniencing you. Okay, but your 2 grandchildren are also her children. So acting like part of this is about their safety is just silly. To me it sounds like your daughter's girlfriend sleeps over, and you don't want your daughter's girlfriend in your house. And if they've been together for several weeks, your daughter must have decided her girlfriend is safe to have around the kids. Unless there's something I'm missing. That all said, it's your house and of course what you want matters. Not the asshole, but your daughter obviously sees things differently. Info: are they friends or friends? Not the asshole, because this is your home and your daughter has not bothered to introduce her friend. I'm assuming it's the same person. If her friend is so important to her, she would do you both the courtesy of actually knowing each other's names. Especially if her GF is spending the night regularly in your home,